it's Whitney. Welcome back to the Spring Cleaning Challenge. Every day in the month of April 2018, I go live around 5 p.m. Pacific time. Today is Earth Day. It's also April 22nd. Well, obviously, it's Earth Day on April 22nd. It's day 22 of this challenge. If you're not familiar with the Spring Cleaning Challenge I'm doing, there's a link down below the video sharing more information. And what I'm going to do today is continue tidying up my kitchen. I started doing this a few days ago, although the past 2 days were a little different because yesterday I went to the Humane Society Gala, which was an amazing vegan event. And then the day before that, I was at a mastermind with wellness entrepreneurs, and you can see those two videos, those recordings from April 20th and 21st. And the day before that is when I was tidying up my kitchen. So I'm back into that and I'm excited about it. First, I wanted to share with you some updates and also share with you some emotions that I'm working through. And as I've mentioned many times throughout this challenge, tidying is so much more than the physical elements of it. I think when we think of spring cleaning, we're often thinking about actually cleaning, organizing, tidying, all of that. And this challenge has just shown me that there are so many elements to tidying that go above and beyond the things that you have and putting physical things in the right order and making your home look nice and all that. To me, it's been a really great opportunity to work through a lot of my emotions, stuck energy, limiting beliefs, and really tidy all of that stuff so I can move on to bigger and better things. It's also taught me a lot about YouTube and how people respond to me. And it's interesting because right before starting this video, I read a negative comment. And I don't normally get a lot of negative comments, at least not lately. I'll get like the thumbs downs and whatever. Those don't bother me nearly as much as they used to, which is really nice. I used to get very affected by them. And sometimes I feel like maybe there's a couple people out there that, this is like paranoia, but in my head I'm like, are there some people that just watch my videos or go to every single video of mine just to give the thumbs down because they know it bothers me? Or are there just trolls on the internet who go around and giving thumbs downs? I mean, it's fascinating because you never know who's doing those sort of things, and you can't let it get too much in your head because it doesn't really serve you to focus on that negative stuff. Now, that's a little bit easier said than done because the pain can still be there. And anyway, so I read this negative comment on my last video yesterday, and someone was calling me narcissistic. And that triggers me because I believe that my mother has the classical narcissistic tendencies. And, you know, when you see something in your parents that you don't like and that has hurt you, I think many of us naturally don't want to be the things that our parents or other people are because we know how it can hurt other people. I have spent so much of my life or my conscious years of my life really working through some of the things that were hurtful in the way that I was raised by my mother. And so to have someone call me narcissistic is a big blow to my heart, right? And I don't know. You know, the thing is, when somebody says something about you, actually, I talked about this when I was in this mastermind a few days ago, and I was sharing with the women in this mastermind some of the challenges that I face and how I will tend to second guess myself because of what other people say about me, right? And I think, again, this is very normal. And it's really tough when you're on a platform like YouTube or Instagram or any of these platforms because you're putting yourself out there so much. And so much of my work has been about sharing the vulnerable sides of me, especially this month, April 2018, doing this challenge. I have been very, very vulnerable, and I enjoy being vulnerable. It feels more free to be vulnerable. It feels more authentic to be vulnerable. Even showing the sides of me that I don't like. It's hard for me to show my kitchen when it's not in order. It's hard for me to show up on camera when I don't feel like I'm perfectly made up or my hair is right, or maybe I'm not feeling super comfortable in my body that day or that time period. That's all so vulnerable, and I do it because I want to work through that. I want to let go of shame. One of the classic things that daughters of narcissistic mothers have is shame, because narcissistic mothers tend to raise their children to be as perfect as possible because they believe that their children reflect them, right? So I think I gathered a lot of shame from that, feeling like I was never good enough, and I was always being my mother focused more on what I was doing wrong than what I was doing right, at least in the way that I interpreted it. And so, it's working through all that shame and no longer be trying to be perfect all the time, and just kind of figuring out who I really am. And that's been one of the biggest blessings of doing this 30-day challenge, is really having that opportunity to just unravel and to work through things and do that live here on these videos. It's really been a great process for me. Anyway, so at the mastermind a few days ago, I was sharing how negativity affects me and how I don't want it to affect me as much anymore. And I feel like I've let it get in my way so much over the years. I haven't pursued things that I wanted to pursue because I was afraid of doing them wrong. I was afraid of embarrassing myself. I was afraid of being criticized. And I'm learning more and more that's just like we can't proceed in life out of fear of being criticized, because the criticism is not something that we can control. Other people's interpretations of us are their thing, right? That's a reflection of their mental state and their perspective. And I criticize people. I'm working on that. That's a hard habit to break. So I've been trying to be more and more conscious about not doing that. And when I find myself criticizing or I find myself being negative, really using it as an opportunity to reflect inward and think, like, why do I feel the need to criticize that person? And how am I viewing them? How does that reflect on me? That classic thing is the things that we don't like in other people are usually the things that we don't like within ourselves. And the other thing I learned at this mastermind, or was reminded of, I should say, is that a lot of times when comments hurt us the most, it's usually the things that we already believe about ourselves. And the reason they hurt is because we agree with them. So when somebody says something really mean to us, if we take it to heart so much, it's probably because they're reflecting to us what we believe about ourselves. So it's possible that I either am afraid of being a narcissist, or maybe I think that I'm a narcissist. And so when somebody says that comment, did that hurt me because they're bringing up something I really fear will happen for me? Or are they bringing up something that I already think about myself that I don't like? And in that video, actually, it brought up some shame too. That was yesterday's video where I was wearing makeup because I was about to go out to this gala, and I have some shame around makeup, right? Like I felt like, sometimes it does feel narcissistic, like showing up and looking beautiful. Sometimes there's shame there for me of like, am I drawing too much attention to myself? But then you have to wonder, did that person think that I was trying to draw attention to myself, and yet they're just afraid of drawing attention to themselves, right? It's such a hard, complicated thing, and it feels really good to share it. So thank you for holding space for me now, and I hope that this inspires you to look within and think about how you judge other people and what you say to them and your actions. And if you're just trying to get attention through negative comments or through thumbs downs or whatever it is, either, hurt people, that classic thing. And there are so many more positive ways for us to get attention from other people and heal ourselves too, so that we don't continue the path, right? It's like, if you are feeling pain, sometimes it feels good to hurt other people, because then you don't feel alone in your pain. First of all, most of us feel some sort of pain as it is, and we're never alone in that pain. There's pain and suffering happening all around us all the time. And we don't need to add to that. We just need to chat with other people. That's one of the reasons that I feel it's so powerful to do live videos and to share things from an honest perspective, is so that you know that you're not alone, that you know that I go through these things too, and that I feel hurt by them, and I am working through them and having insights on them, and we're in this together. So my heart just has to go out to the people that write negative things, because either they don't know better, or they're in a bad habit, or they're just in so much pain that they feel it's necessary to point out the weaknesses in other people. And I don't want to do that in my life. So I think I just need to continue doing some inner work. So those, instead of having being triggered and feeling hurt, I can be triggered and feel compassion for somebody instead. So I wanted to start that out just to share with you something that just happened to me and emotions I'm going through. And this is all part of tidying. And the spring cleaning challenge is like looking within and tidying up old things like hurt, shame. Those things are old beliefs. Those things are old mental patterns, emotional states that are no longer serving me, have never really served me, and are only holding me back. So the sooner I can address those, tidy those, move on, and bring in more positive emotions, more positive thoughts, the better my life becomes. And I really encourage each and every one of you to do whatever it takes for you to clear out any old mental chatter, emotions, limiting beliefs, fears, and just make room for more positivity and love to come in so that you can continue to shine it out to other people. And also, of course, addressing Earth Day. I hope that each of you are having a wonderful Earth Day. I went and had a nice picnic for lunch, appreciating the earth in a beautiful park out in Los Angeles, and just having some delicious plant-based food and spending some time on Instagram going through and just admiring so many inspiring quotes and photos and reminders about how to be more eco-friendly. And I feel like this spring cleaning challenge is also a great way to be eco-friendly because it's helping me really focus on the things that I need and get rid of the things that are no longer serving me physically, and maybe passing them on to other people, recycling them, donating them, selling them, and all these processes I'm going to be working on this coming week, which I'm really, really excited about. And I really hope those of you who haven't yet will join the challenge. Again, the link is down below in the description. When you sign up, you also get emails from me, and I will be sending out some special gifts to people that are part of the challenge through a system. So you'll get an email and you can opt in and receive some gifts from me, because I basically collect a lot of different products, and there are some things that as I said, I'm moving on from in my life, like products I've never used or things that I have used that are in still a good condition and I can pass on to somebody else, like books or clothing or home goods, things like that. I would love to pass them on to people like you. I'm going to take a brief moment to read some live comments, and then I'm going to tell you about a few products I've tried recently that I loved through this process, and then I'm going to do some tidying up my kitchen. So thank you so much to Lainey's Life for being here live, and Rachel. I appreciate your sweet words. You're our ex, Mondo, Musty Fan. Thank you so much for all your sweetness, Veggie Lover. You know, the thing is it's so helpful to surround yourself with people who believe in you and support you. And there are just some people in life that are not going to like you. There are people in life that are going to see your flaws and only your flaws. They're going to see your weaknesses, or you're going to trigger them. And I think I've tried a lot in my life not to hurt. I never want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt animals or people, or, you know, I just don't want to hurt. I don't want anyone to suffer around me. And unfortunately, it's kind of impossible. Life does involve suffering, emotional suffering, physical suffering. It's not something that we can fully avoid. So dancing around and trying to tiptoe around people so that you don't hurt them or you don't offend them, you don't trigger them, is sometimes can get in the way of our full expression of ourselves. So I think I just have to trust, and I hope each of you just trust yourselves enough to live your life authentically. And yeah, it's hard to understand why people don't like our friends, right? But some people just aren't going to like the same people that we like. And we don't need to sit around and ponder that. It's also a matter of time, right? Some people will like you at one day and not like you the next, or not like you one day and then a few weeks later, a few years later, they like you for whatever reason, right? They see another side of you differently, and you can't control the timing of somebody else's approval. So, okay, let's move on to a few products I want to mention. So if you've been following this challenge, I have been organizing my body care, my kitchen, as I'm doing right now, my clothing, all of that. And part of the process is going through things and identifying what I need to use. And I have all these body care products. Like I had almost 300 and I recycled a bunch of them. I had to toss some of them that had expired. And then I found a number of them that I haven't used yet that I want to try for the first time. So I want to tell you about that experience. First of all, I tried this herbal facial kit from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's so lovely. I received this in a gift bag and I thought that it was just like a one-time thing, like there were only enough products in here to use once, but there's actually enough to use like probably 10 times. And it was so wonderful because I treated myself to like a night of self-care, and I just spent like a few hours really taking care of myself. And so in here, it is an herbal steam. So you add these herbs into some hot water and put a towel over your head and let it steam your face for 10 to 15 minutes. Then some cleansing grains, which you get moist and then you rub into your face as kind of like an exfoliation. A clay mask, which you leave on for like 15 minutes. That one was really nice. I took a bath while the clay mask was on. And then a facial oil, so kind of like a serum that you rub in, and then a rose water toner. Super nice. I'm so excited to do this again. At first I was like, oh wow, am I going to use this all? But I just have to schedule it into my week to do maybe a self-care night with these once a week. And also in the self-care realm, I've been doing a lot of facial masks because I was gifted a bunch through events or various things that I do. And I tried out this one from Acure, which is the biocellulose mask. And it was super nice. I really enjoyed it. I'm not the biggest fan of facial masks in the sense that, I don't know, like there's something about sitting around with, or this kind, I mean. I like the clay masks that you can like put on and walk around and do your own thing. With these, you kind of just have to sit there and they're on your face. Your face looks really strange because you got all this like white mask on you. It's kind of scary looking, funny looking. I don't know. It's okay. I would have to try it for a long time to really see benefits of it, but it's interesting enough to try. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think it's for me. If you like these though, this one is very nice because the fabric that the mask is made of is like really soft and more like gel-like. And it's got this nice cooling effect. And it's nice to just have serum sitting on your face for like 15 minutes because it's really getting absorbed into your skin and it has so many benefits. And then lastly, I want to mention this. The Yin and Yang Energy Shot. Yesterday before I went to that gala, I was feeling low energy and I was thinking of having some coffee. Then I realized I had this, and so I thought, okay, I'll give it a try, and it worked super well. If you're looking for something that's gentler than coffee or a Red Bull, more natural, something like this can be nice. The downside is it's in plastic. It's a small container, so I imagine you'd probably buy these in multi-packs, and they're probably pretty wasteful. So maybe like as a transitionary thing or an every once in a while thing, it would be a more effective choice. It has, as is obvious, the ginseng plus green tea leaf, and it's sweetened with stevia and erythritol, monk fruit. It's got an intense taste to it, but it was super effective. So if you like things like this could work for you. All right, so I'm going to dive in and do some more tidying in my kitchen. My legs hurt right now because I was kind of squatting down to be eye level. Okay, so I have 2 videos so far tidying. In the first video, I went through my supplements, and the supplement process has been really cool because I have this whole supplement system. I've been taking supplements every day, and as I mentioned in that video, I've just kind of been working my way through them, testing the effectiveness, and I'll share with you more probably in like a month or so after I've gone through them all. I'll do a video summarizing like best supplements and things that have really worked for me, things that I'm not that into, and just give you a bigger perspective of that. In another video, I organized my spices, and that's been great because I went through and found the spices that had maybe expired or weren't as potent and got rid of them, recycled the containers, and then now I have like a much more organized spice rack that's more appealing. It brings more joy. It makes me want to cook with them more. and it's just kind of simplified my kitchen. It doesn't feel as chaotic, and so I'm so excited to be done with my kitchen whenever I finish this process. So the whole thing will just feel a lot more inviting. All right, I don't know why I'm so out of breath. I feel like probably the way I've been speaking is maybe because of the emotional side of some of the things that I've shared. I tend to like hold my breath a little bit or get tense. So I need to just relax. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is tackle this part of my kitchen. I did a little bit of this one the other day. So I have these shelves. If you saw the other videos, I talked about what's in all of the shelves and stuff. And I started working on the tea yesterday, but for some reason this shelf feels really daunting to me, so I'm procrastinating that part. I need to do my fridge. And I also need to find a way to speed up the process. So I think what I'm going to do is right now on camera, go through this. I'll share with you some of the food that's in there. There's probably some expired foods and stuff that I'm not using that I need to give away. And then maybe off camera, I'll do some other tidying. I'll share that process. So Green Dragon, thanks so much for joining. I am doing well. You're probably going to want to watch the beginning of the video for an update on exactly how I'm doing and what's been going on. But the gala yesterday was really, really lovely. I documented my experience on Seed Food and Wine's Instagram. So if you go to @SeedFW, you can still see the story. It'll be live for another hour or two. And it'll show you like food that I was eating, the people I was with, the atmosphere, and a little clip from a performance by Moby, which was really nice. It was a great, great event. I'm really grateful that I got to go. Okay, so I'm going to pull everything out of here and examine the situation. I'm going to tell you about some of the products I love. Also, if you join the challenge, again, the link is down below. You'll get access to the spreadsheet I've been creating with all of the products, so body care products, home goods, food, supplements will be on there. I'm going to keep adding to it for the next week or so, and then it'll just be like a big resource of all sorts of products that I use and love. I'm so excited to chat about some of these things and also pass on some of these things to people like you, because I'm just not using them. It's so funny when you tidy your kitchen, you're like, oh, I forgot I had that. Good to know. And if any of you are joining live and missed the beginning part of the video, I think you can just go start back at the very beginning right now and then catch up, or you can just wait till the recording is available and then you can watch and see everything that I've talked about to give you some more context. Because I know sometimes you join live videos and you're like, I don't know what's going on. So one thing I don't like about live videos is it's like, I wish there was a better way to like give you a little summary and catch you up to speed. And really the best is to go back to the beginning. Zigzag just joined, and thank you for the sweet words. So the Apple Watch, I love this Apple Watch so much. I actually won this in the contest, and it's the first Apple Watch, or the first edition of it, and I use it for all sorts of things. I love using it for tracking exercise, so especially when I'm really into going to yoga regularly, I'll use it and I'll track every yoga practice, and it's just nice to keep a record of all of that, but it'll also tell me like, you know, my heart rate and calories burned, so I can optimize my whole what's the word I want to use? Routine. And I'll use it when I go on walks. It just will automatically track all your steps, so it's nice to see how many steps I've walked each day. It reminds you to stand up so you can be more active and not sit down as much. And it's also great for text messages, for alerts, for you can check your email kind of on there, and some social media stuff. It's great. I love the Apple Watch and totally hooked on it now. So eventually I'll get a newer one because there's been a ton of changes since the original Apple Watch came out. All right. This is such a good reminder because a lot of times I feel like I just don't have anything to eat. And I look at all this, I'm like, I have plenty to eat. It's just that there's stuff in here that I don't want to eat, so I should probably give it to somebody else to enjoy. Alright, so these were okay. These are from Trader Joe's. I mean, I didn't love these, so that's why I didn't eat them all. They're just like a little too sweet for me. But if you really like coconut and sesame seeds, then you probably would like these. So I'm going to toss these. And what I'll do is I'll compost the whatever's remaining in here, and then I'll recycle the bag. This is one of my favorite gluten-free pancake mixes, so I'm going to definitely keep this. You can make waffles with it as well. The only thing I don't like is that cornstarch is their first ingredient. I'm sensitive to corn, so it doesn't make me feel amazing, but the pancakes are delicious. They come out perfect. And let's see, what do you add to this? You just add a dairy-free milk, and then for eggs, I use chia seeds, and then you add some melted butter, so I'll often use coconut oil in place of that. Then I've got some hemp seeds. These are still good to go. This is really good. Got this from Trader Joe's recently. If you like falafel, I highly recommend this. It's gluten-free and vegan, pretty simple ingredients, and really, really easy to make this. This is really nice too. I need to put this on my schedule to make this. These are apple cinnamon muffin mix from Green Bakery. It's the company that sponsored me last year, and the muffins are super simple to make. All you do is add water, applesauce, and oil. And that's it. You just mix it up and it makes perfect vegan gluten-free muffins. So, gotta do that at some point. More hemp seeds. Some organic popcorn. So again, I don't have corn very much, but when I do, I enjoy that. I forget where these came from. I think somebody gave these to me, I think. These are lentils, or are these something else, but I should make these. I need to create like a meal plan for all of this. Then I've got another pancake mix. This is really good too. This is a Bob's Red Mill gluten-free pancake mix. And similarly to the other one, you just need milk, chia seeds for eggs, and then some melted butter or oil. Got some quinoa. Let me make sure this hasn't gone bad. I don't know what the shelf life of quinoa is off the top of my head, but this is relatively new. I'm sure it's fine. I've been on the stage where I haven't wanted quinoa as much. I'm more on a rice stage, but I just need to make that. Have some dry garbanzo beans. I don't know if these have an expiration date. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. These expired last fall, so I better, where it says Best Buy. I can definitely still eat them, but I should probably have them soon while they're on the fresher side. I love making fresh chickpeas because they taste so much better when you, not make them, but when you brew them yourself or whatever you want to call it, versus getting them from a can. They're so, so delicious. I just got this last night, so I haven't tried it yet, or not this one exactly, but the Miracle Noodles. So I've had those separately, but I haven't had this mixture. It's a spaghetti marinara, ready-to-eat meal, and I'll let you know how this tastes. I like to have the ready-to-eat stuff for whenever I'm feeling lazy. These I think I'm going to get rid of. I got this, I think, a few months ago, but they're good until next year. These are organic green lentil lasagna noodles. So maybe one of you will get gifted these. And then I just got these last night. Pretty good. They're these caramel chocolates from this company, Amor di Mona. These were at the gala last night as gifts, and they are very tasty. I also got this at the gala. I'm pretty sure I've had this before, but I don't remember what it tastes like. This is Toasty Super Bites Cappuccino Crunch Cashew. And I found this Lara bar. I go through phases where I'm really into Lara bars. They're one of my favorite bars because the ingredients are super simple. But I don't know if this one has an expiration date on it. The trick is of the Lara bars, if you keep them around for too long, they start to get kind of stale tasting because the ingredients are so simple. So I'm trying to feel it to see if it's super dry. I don't know. I'm in a phase where I don't really want to eat Lara bars, but I also don't want to go to waste. I have to look up and find out how long raisins last. I rarely ever eat raisins. I was gifted these as well, I think in like a farm box or something. So I gotta figure out something to do with those if they're not too dry. This was a company that sent me products a while back, and I don't know exactly what went wrong with this, but this is a company called Pat's Backcountry Beverages, and it's basically like a soda stream that you can use on the go. So it's marketed towards campers that want to make their own soda or beer while they're traveling. I've had this for a long time. Let's see if these are expired. But I tried making these with my soda stream and they got really flat. So I tried these years ago when I first got them, and it was really, really cool. It worked perfectly. But I wonder if like the packet's expired or something. I have to do a little bit more research. But if any of you are someone that travels very frequently or goes camping, this is a really cool idea if you do enjoy sparkling beverages. But I can't find any details about expiration. Let's see, more quinoa that I need to use. Okay. This is pretty neat. I'm not 100% sure I want to keep this, but I love the concept. These are make your own protein bars. It's a mixture, and this is a peanut butter and jelly flavor, and you can turn them into bars or balls, so whatever shape you prefer. And I think all you do is add bananas. That's it. And maybe like crushed pretzels or peanuts or something like this. But I thought that was really cool. And a lot of the ingredients are organic. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather give this to somebody who'd be more excited about it, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe one of you. Then I have some nori sheets, which have been opened. Can't imagine these are still good. No, they're not. Okay. These need to be composted. That's another thing, is like storing things properly so they don't go to waste. Or just using them up. And some hemp seeds, some granola that I'm not going to eat. Keep Healthy bar. Honestly, do not love this flavor, so I think I'm going to pass this on to somebody who really likes pineapple and chocolate. I was holding that for like a craving, a chocolate craving, but I just got these last night. I can't remember if I've tried this flavor, but these are Forager Chipotle Barbecue Greens Vegetable Chips. Sounds really tasty. And this is interesting, but I don't think I'm going to finish using this. This was marinara seasoning, so you could sprinkle this into a marinara pasta or anything that you're using with tomato sauce, and it adds like superfood seaweed, so it would help you get all the nutrient benefits of seaweed. So I thought that was kind of cool, but it's been sitting around for a while. I don't know. I always feel so on the fence. I want to use everything. but I also don't want things just collecting space. This was coconut flakes that composted. Also from the Green Bakery, the same people that make those apple cinnamon muffin mix, also makes this delicious bread mix. Now that I'm holding this in my hands, I really, really want to make this again. I actually did a live video. I can't remember if it was on this channel or Facebook, but I showed me figuring out how to make this bread live. And it was really interesting because I didn't have all of the right equipment for it. I didn't have a stand mixer, so I had to like use a handheld mixer, and that was hard. So I need to find somebody with a stand mixer for bread and the proper pans. But even without all the proper equipment, this turned out so good. Just delicious bread. So I need to figure out the best way to make that happen again, because it's a lot of work to make bread without the right equipment. These are really nice. I just got these samples recently from Sprout Living. These are drinkable oats, and all you do is mix this into, I think, just water or any beverage, and it makes like a delicious drink for you. I'm really into oat milk, and this is kind of like a nice alternative to protein powders. It does have protein powder in it. It has a little pea protein and oats, and then a bunch of spices and a little bit of sweetener. So I'm going to have that at some point this week, I think. And I think that's everything in that cabinet. So it looks a lot better already. It's more organized. Next, I got to organize these two shelves. So let's jump into that process. And let's see. Zigzag said, would it be easier to date things when you buy them and set a future date when you will use them? I love that idea. That's such a good idea. I have been marking all my supplements and creating a system for when to use them. And then I'll be putting them into the spreadsheet and also my meal planner. So if you sign up for the spring cleaning challenge, I'm going to include all sorts of resources, probably towards the end of the challenge or after the challenge ends. There'll be a resource guide of some sort, and it'll include links to things like the meal planner I use and the spreadsheet that I've been using. I think I'd rather put it all in the spreadsheet and in the meal planner just to keep me on track with it, because sometimes if I label the product itself, it's just going to sit in the cabinet, and unless I pull it out and look at the date, then I won't know when it's going to be used. So for me, the meal planner is probably the most ideal thing, which is the next step in this process. I use a really great meal planning software, so I'll email everyone about that. Ooh, and I need to use these too. These were some steel cut oats from Bob's Bread Mill. So part of what's really helpful is like having everything more visible. Before it was just kind of a mess in there, and there's like a bunch of the stuff that I'm gonna pass on to somebody else or I need to compost, and now it's a lot easier to look in there. I also have these beans for a recipe. These will last a while, so they can sit back there until I need them again. All right. It's here. If anyone has any other questions, let me know. I have some chocolate too that needs to be consumed. Not my favorite chocolate, but it would taste really good melted. I would love for any of you watching live, or also for those of you watching the recording, what did you do or what are you doing today to celebrate Earth Day? Or if you're not like officially celebrating it, because technically Earth Day should be every day, is there something new you learned today? Did you share a favorite quote or a picture? Did somebody inspire you? I'd love to hear anything Earth Day related from you watching in the comments. And I love hearing from everybody. I love getting to know each and every one of you. So if you don't have anything Earth Day related to share, maybe you can just tell me something else that's on your mind or your heart right now. All right, this feels good. Okay. level. This shelf in my cabinet is kind of like a storage cabinet, so I just want to organize things and see if there's anything in here that I'm not using. And I'll tell you what purpose everything serves as well. So things like this wooden bowl. I don't know if I'm going to use this, so I think I'm going to donate this. It's a nice wooden bowl for like smoothies and stuff, or like not smoothies, like acai bowls. That's what that was made for. This is the bottle that goes with these products. So these go together, and this comes with activator packs, and you put the activator packs in this, and this like turns into a soda stream type system where it'll carbonate water for you, and then you can add flavor packets to it to make soda and beer and stuff on the go. All right, so this is a container I've barely used, but I wonder if it's because I forgot it was there. It's kind of nice, a Hydro Flask container for bringing warm things like soup. And I think I just need to bring this out into the open so I remember and decide if it's something that I want to keep. Toaster back in there. This is one of my favorite cups from Hydro Flask. I love this so much. I use this for tea, and it has a little cap too. I also need to organize this shelf, but I'm not going to do that today. This should really be in here. I have so much stuff, you know, not a ton of space, so part of the tidying process is also like reorganizing things, so it's easier to get things and identify what I need. So, put that somewhere. My mom and I sometimes go to this antique shop in Massachusetts, and I started collecting Pyrex containers. So these have a sentimental value to them, and I feel like they have a good purpose every once in a while. I don't use them a ton, but this one's really cool because it's got a little divider, and it's like a big one. You can bake things like vegetables in there. And then I have these sizes, which I use for food storage all the time. I love these. They have a glass top, so it's really easy to identify what's in them. My dad's calling right now. I should probably call him back. And then I have a bunch of stainless steel containers. I don't know what to do with this because the top broke. So I've kind of been using it for storage of tops for like mason jars and such. And then same thing with this. The top broke on this one too. They both have plastic tops, so I gotta decide if I'm gonna keep this. This would actually work really well. This is a better storage for these tops. And then I love this. This is from the company New Wave Enviro. I just did a bunch of posts on their newer containers that have plastic tops, and those are really sweet. But this one is completely stainless steel, and it's lasted me for years. I love this container so much. And then I have these little baby Pyrex containers that I'll use for sauces or small items. Also lovely. And then I have a bunch of water bottles, kind of need to decide what to do with them, because I use this other one from Hydro Flask all the time. This one used to be my trusty container. I think this one actually fell into a canyon once. I think this is the one. I can't remember. I've had so many Hydro Flask containers. Or maybe it was this one. This is my clean canteen that I loved for so long. Might have been this one. One of these fell down a canyon in Arizona while I was hiking. And it lasts. Still have it. So I'll probably just store these away, but I'm trying not to hold on to things that I'm not using very frequently, so I don't know. I can always like give these to other people. These would be good to donate. I'll have to think about that. This one is cool. I use this all the time because it has this special attachment for your dog. So I bring this on hikes or when I go on trips with Evie, and you unscrew this and it turns into like a little water bowl. She uses this all the time. It's called a Canine H2O. Very handy. And then I have this top. This is meant, it's like a reusable silicone top. I forget the name. Oh wait, here it is. Charles Vianson. Is that how you pronounce it? They're silicone tops that you can put on top of bowls or dishes instead of using a plastic film. And this one looks like a pumpkin. I think they sent this to me in the fall years ago. And I gave a bunch of them to my parents. So this is handy. I don't use it a ton, but every once in a while it's really helpful. Well, that's looking better. Just gotta make some decisions. So I find that putting items that I am not sure about in a really obvious place will help me think about them and evaluate if I should keep them or not. So I'll put that right there. And then these are parts for my new Life Straw, which is a new water bottle filter. I just did a video on that on the Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page if you want to go check that out. And I'll talk about it a bit more here too, but these are like some parts for that. So there you have it. All right, 2 shelves organized so far. I'm running low on battery. Let me grab the charge cord. Okay, one last shelf to tackle. And this shelf really needs some work. I don't know if I can reach everything up there. This is the shelf that I use to it's like a storage shelf. So there are some things up there like these probiotics I was given. I will definitely use these later. I have some superfood supplements. Ooh, that were Best Buy last month, but I'm going to see if anybody wants these regardless because I'm not going to use those. This is pretty cool. I got this at a secondhand store or maybe a garage sale or something. It's called the Froth-O-Matic, and it helps froth milk for coffee. And I also use this as like a French press, like a mini French press. And I just kept the box as storage because it's glass and pretty fragile. So that probably could be on a lower shelf, but I need to rearrange this a bit more. And there's just random stuff. Like, why do I even have these? I thought these were so cute. They're these little cups. Kind of like, I guess I could use these for muffins. Maybe that's what I'll do. That's a good idea. And there's a bunch of stuff up there that I can't reach right now, so I'm going to need to get a stool later to go through it, but it's like stuff that I should probably get rid of, like glassware that I'm not using. And this, I thought, I love reusing stuff as much as possible, so this is just a plastic to-go container that I've been saving for a time when I need something disposable. Because as much as I love things like the New Wave containers, if I'm like, let's say, giving something to somebody and I might not see them again for a while, we can give them stuff in here and then recycle it. And then I have some stuff that I'm just going to get rid of. Let me put this up there. I have things like, how many of you hold on to jars and containers because, you know, they can have so many purposes? Like this ball jar is a great size, so I don't want to get rid of it. It's great for storage as well, and it's also nice for transporting various foods. So you can pour soup in here. This is like, I think 30 ounces or maybe 40. Is that 48? No, I think this is like 30 ounces. And so you can put like a soup in here to bring with you. You can put grains in here or any sort of bulk foods in here. But then there's a bunch of containers that I just haven't used in so long. You know, I always had like good hopes for them. So I want to find a good way to donate them. Because it's so sad to see things go to waste like this. Like, I could recycle it, but I feel like it's so much better purposed by giving it to somebody. So I need to do a little research for this whole container. All of this to be properly recycled. Because I used to do a lot more bulk shopping than I have been doing lately. I don't know. I always feel so conflicted. It's kind of that what if mentality. I'm trying to move away from that. So it's going to go in my to-do pile. Alright. Well, I made a lot of progress today. I still have some decisions to make. But for the most part, this is more organized than it was when I started. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then probably tomorrow, I will be going through this shelf and finishing that up. I need to do the powders and teas, and then I need to tackle my refrigerator and then organize some of the drawers. So I feel like the kitchen is just, so it's a big process, and each part of it's taking me anywhere from half an hour to an hour to go through. So I might just do some of that behind the scenes, or I might pick up where I'm leaving off now in another video. Before I go, let's see. So Cosmic Mortality says, have you ever been in a romantic or personal relationship with a narcissist? I'm still learning a lot about exactly what that means, because I think there's whatever our ideas of what it means to be narcissist, and then what like the actual definition of a narcissist is. So I'm not sure off the top of my head, probably, but I don't know. And Lady's Life says, my husband works in the recycling business, so we're always after others to recycle more. It's so irritating to hear some people who don't bother to recycle. Yeah, I agree. I also think people that do recycle, myself included, sometimes use it as an excuse to use single-use packaging. And one thing that I really want to work on for my own environmental journey is to really be more mindful, to buy more in bulk again, to buy more like just fresh fruits and vegetables, less packaged food, and try to find things that have biodegradable or compostable containers versus all the different types of plastic. Because my recycling bin, it's just like, I don't have a huge recycling bin, but I could do a lot better. I don't know if, zero waste I think is a really wonderful thing to strive for, and I'm very inspired by it. For whatever reason, I haven't been like 100% motivated, and that's just completely honest. I would like to learn more about it and figure out what it's going to take for me to live more of a minimalist lifestyle when it comes to how I'm using all sorts of things. So this challenge has definitely brought a lot of awareness. I think Earth Day is always a great day for awareness, and we need to spend more time paying attention. So maybe my next challenge will be like a zero waste challenge or a minimal waste challenge, something like that, and we can do it all together. All right, and thank you so much. I'll look up Angie Addison on YouTube. I'm gonna make a note for that right now, and I'll check out your recommendation. All right, I'm gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for watching, whether you've been watching live or watching the recording. Remember that this is part of the spring cleaning challenge. There's only 8 days left of it, so it's going by very fast, but you can join and start fresh from the very beginning. So if you use the link down below in the description field, all you do is enter your name and your email. You'll be sent an email every day. You get to follow my whole journey from beginning to end with the spring cleaning process. You'll learn so much. It has been transformative for me. It's been just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I hope that you'll be inspired and you'll try some of these things for yourself and see how they can bring more magic into your life, more clarity, and really transform you from the outside in. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for being here, for holding me accountable, for supporting me, for cheering me on, and enriching my life in more ways than you possibly know. So you are a blessing to me. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for the next live video, which will be around 5 p.m. Pacific time and probably back here in my kitchen. So I will see you then, and much love back to everyone. Bye.